Showing off the guns.
That's the Loadout guns.
Let's make sure we are live. Everybody, yeah, I see this.
Can you hear us?
There we go. Making sure that we're live here. Yes, we are. Okay.
The Ian man doth approacheth.
Comrade Black.
Yes. All right, what's up, guys? Here with another community talk. We're going to do these every Monday. I have the lead designer, Ian Villamin, here, and we're going to talk about competitive game modes and answer some of your questions, some fun, silly questions.
Yeah, actually, I printed out some of my favorite ones from the forum.
From the forum?
Yeah.
Okay. So
particularly Bard's thread, which was extremely charming.
So, yeah. As you guys know, we're currently working on a competitive game mode, and probably going to be a couple iterations on it.
Yep.
And you guys are going to get some feedback on it here relatively soon. I don't know how, if we can get a mic is low, mic is quiet. Let's see if I can
Maybe I'm
boost
sitting
that.
too far away.
But I don't know if we are going to have a date for that for you guys just yet. But
It's probably too early to say to give a date.
Yeah. So
just to give everyone some insight into how we work on new features on this level, we're really into like trying out a bunch of different ideas here at the studio. So right now we're working with some different rules for like what's the game objective.
Right.
The first one that we're trying, as you know, is a mix of Blitz and Onslaught from Unreal Tournament. And so we're probably actually going to be wrapping up a first pass on that sometime this week. We'll test it in the studio, and then if that goes well, then we'll move on to the next phase on top of game types, or we'll try out some other objectives.
yeah. So
Lots of exploring right now. I can't give you any dates quite yet.
So, very first question. This is from you guys on the forums. Got from Cover OP. We're also going to answer some questions here in the chat, and we got a couple on Facebook. But, Ian,
I read this one.
do you really suck that much? Because, honestly, I never get a chance to play against you.
Answer. I would consider myself above average for an Edge of Reality employee.
Yes.
Which would make me possibly quite a bit below average for a community gamer. Yeah. I used to think I was pretty good at this game, and then we turned into closed beta / early access, and now I should stick with Street Fighter, maybe.
He's one of the best healers in the game.
That's because I'm like competing with 5 other people.
Well, and your teammates aren't shooting at you.
True, that's true. I do a good job of blocking line of sight when I'm paying attention, but then when it comes down to like a duel, generally lose those. Maybe you and I should play sometime, buddy.
I'm training him.
Yeah.
I am training him.
Yeah, it was very motivating when you taught me how to do headshots. That was pretty awesome.
BMFOF. Are you still planning on holding a community tournament, or are you going to wait for open beta / release? That's kind of a question for me, I guess.
Yeah. I believe we've supported you in every way possible for that.
Pretty much, yeah. There is a hidden. Is it okay if I say this right now?
Yeah, we have a way to how do I say this? There is a way for us to support a community playlist on Steam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll just leave it at that. Yes. The short answer is yes. I would like to hold a community tournament before we go open beta. There's a couple things like the switching of the teams and stuff that I talked about that we have to get working. And then at that point, we should be able to do something. So, yeah, just hold tight for that. I'll have some more information once I talk to everyone that I need to. Do you plan on running season leagues for teams? How are you going to handle solo players wanting to dabble in competitive play?
Season leagues for teams is probably something that we'll introduce after we've introduced ladders.
Okay.
And so, again, we'll probably introduce it in phases just so we can get stuff out to you guys as quickly as possible. In terms of solo play, competitive style, we'll probably split it up into 2 playlists. That's like a very common technique used in multiplayer shooters.
Like a solo queue.
Solo queue and then the team queue.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Again from BMFOF, any plans for dueling? Smaller maps, only 2 players.
No plans for that formally, but as we've mentioned many times, we're going to support you guys creating your own games, like hosting your own servers. And so you guys can set that up if you'd like to.
How many... I guess 4 points would be a dual map, and then maybe the freezer.
Perhaps the most well-designed map in the entire game. Perhaps the freezer. Yeah, we'll see about that one.
Okay.
It is excellent.
clan tags, partying up, how do they work exactly?
Clan tags. So again, talking about features that will roll out in phases. First, we'll let you guys form parties.
Right.
After that, we'll figure out a way to let you guys form clans. And as part of that clan update, we'll allow you to do things like provide a clan tag. Perhaps there will be like a clan emblem you can design. Perhaps there will be character customization that allows you to show your clan emblem. But that's quite a ways down the road.
So a follow-up question to that I know either someone on the chat is going to ask, or not even in this thread, it was on a separate post in the forums.
Mm-hmm.
When we actually introduce clan tags, are we going to allow people to reserve a name before we roll out the feature? I think we might.
You know, we were actually talking about doing that for display names, which we're going to be rolling out pretty soon. We might do the same thing for clan tags as well. That's pretty far out, so ask that question again in a couple months.
Okay. What team format do you see as the best for competitive play? 3v3 or 4v4?
Yeah, so there are a lot of moving parts there. Walter pointed this out the other day, but he really feels, and I think he's correct, that having odd numbers on team, there's something magical about that, because then you have like these lopsided matches that keep on occurring.
Right.
So it would be nice if we could have odd numbers, but then at the same time there are other factors like map design, how big the map is, how many objectives are active at any given point that also influence whether there's a lopsided match or not. But 4v4 is currently our technological max. If we find that it would be better to have odd numbers, then either we'll go 3v3 or I'll go
5v5.
Yeah, conversation in which Jake will punch me in the face because he made me promise that 4v4 would be the max, and we'll see what happens. It's a pretty big dude. He probably punch pretty hard.
Yeah, I don't
Also
know.
my neighbor.
I don't know. Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, we've discussed the possibility of carpooling, but it's always ended with "I hate you," so no. It's funny because it's true.
MLG ESL tourneys. Any plans for observer mode? Spectator mode?
Yeah.
Or some other method to broadcast games to a larger audience?
So observer mode / spectator mode, we actually support that internally a little bit,
Mhm.
which you guys use to cut a lot of videos.
Yes.
It would take a little bit of work to make that like a end user friendly feature, but it's on our list. It's not super high up because what we're more interested right now is like what I consider the backbone of competitive play, which is, you know, the game type, party matchmaking,
Yeah.
ladders, stuff like that is super awesome. We'll just do that after the essentials.
And I can say that I do have some buddies at MLG that are very interested in our game. The CEO, Sundance DiGiovanni, actually tweeted me, and I'm just waiting for a couple more features to roll out before we start talking with them about anything. But we have discussed some things in the past with them, so.
Does your presence on this team like lend credibility to us in the MLG community?
Kind of.
Does it really?
I think so.
Like
kind
if
of.
Daigo were over here, like that would be like, wow, you guys.
Yeah, maybe. I think he'd be more interested in you than me because
True.
you're all interested in Evo and
Yeah,
You'd
ESL
love
in
him.
particular, those guys, they tweeted us.
they tweeted us today.
Yeah,
Actually,
that's right. I
yeah,
told them to go
ESL
harass
actually
you.
tweeted us today. This is from Walter to
Ooh.
Ian. Why
No,
is
fuck you.
Why is Vampire Weekend's sophomore album inferior to their debut?
Well, a compelling question, but perhaps a more compelling question on that vein is, who gives a fuck about an Oxford comic? I'll leave you with that question.
Outlaw Pickle asks, what sort of weapon restrictions, if any, will competitive have? It's his first question.
Yeah. So I've actually given some thought to this. This is just idea talking right now, so this is even a half-baked idea. But one thing that I think would be really great is if whenever you're hosting a tournament, we would give you the ability to specify what parts or guns or combinations of parts are valid or invalid for your tournament.
Right.
So that way different leagues could specify different rules based on what they thought was fair. And just to make things smooth, Edge of Reality would recommend a tournament setting. And yeah.
I think if we're going to have our own tournament ladders, there'll probably be two sets of rules. There'll be like what the community is pushing for us to do, and then like what people are running with out in the wild, kind of.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I mean, we'll see. Obviously,
Yeah.
I'm of the feeling that I would want it to kind of let it go wild, let everyone play
Yeah.
with everything, and then as we go on, let's say, okay, that doesn't really work, that
Yeah.
doesn't really work.
That's totally how I'd like to do it too.
So,
Yeah, one thing that I think League does very well is like that's actually part of the game, is that like the teams are picking,
Right.
and then there's a banning pass, and it's kind of interesting because they're in the loadout creation or selection phase of the game. There's actually a game going on, a meta game going on.
Right.
So I'm very interested in exploring that concept.
Let's see. I'm looking at the chat right now.
Yeah, well, while you try and farm, Bard, like I said, had a fantastic thread that I'd like to address here and there while you're gathering questions. So Bard asked a lot of questions about my mother. I don't know why he's so interested. Perhaps Ty's influence is starting to spread throughout the community, but I'll just start from the top. What is my mother's favorite color? The answer is yellow. Yeah, interesting, huh?
Yeah.
There's 2 pages of this.
Yeah, there is 2 pages. I
There's
saw
2
it.
pages, yeah.
This is like getting to know Ian Villamin.
Yeah, I can answer 80% of these questions, by the way.
That's nice.
I might bring her in if this segment proves popular. She doesn't live too far from here. Introduce her to Ty.
Will there ever be ponderance to make the jackhammer usable after 5 hits, only without the AoE? So a direct hit would be required for a kill, and even then, won't count towards a hammer value.
Oh, we've actually talked about that. I actually think it's working very well right now. Something that I'm a little concerned about is if you keep on getting to use the hammer, some people just really love to smash and play whack-a-mole with it.
Yeah.
So they just refuse to capture it. So this is kind of a gentle way to say, hey, it's time
I
to
don't
turn it
know
in.
if some of you guys in chat were here before we put the limit on, but jackhammer literally went from the game that people least wanted to play because people would run around
they would
smashing the hammer on everyone and they would not cap the flag, to it being a lot more compelling experience now. It's actually my favorite game type.
Yeah,
so
it's probably my favorite as well. That solution in particular is headed up by Sean Wingler. Excellent design solution there by Sean.
So let me see. This is still an Outlaw Pickle. How will things be controlled so the core gameplay is preserved without anyone feeling as though someone is overpowered, underpowered by their loadout choice?
Well, we're actually not too afraid of the notion that there is like a lot of gravity to decisions made in weapon crafting, particularly as we make the game more of a team-based game. Like that's a big focus with this new objective or a game type that we're trying to create. I think it's very interesting to say, wow, these teams battled, and then in this particular occurrence, so-and-so won because he made a good choice in the loadout or in the weapon crafting room.
Right.
I actually think that's great.
And as we add more parts and pieces, that's really going to just like change the flow and strategy of that. So.
Yeah, that's right. The parts that we're picking right now are being very carefully chosen to kind of enhance that strategic depth in weapon crafting.
Yeah. Okay, Outlaw Pickle says, what's the devs' view on running the same weapon in both slots, i.e. double sniper? This is a question for Walter.
Walter, what's your view on that?
Double sniper, double rocket launcher. Personally, I see this allowing for more high risk, high reward creative setups. However, this does allow for seemingly ridiculous scenarios, such as the one pointed out by Saravok, who found you can place 22 mines by running 2 sticky prox launchers.
True. Yeah, that's I don't want to say it's a problem because that guy is also, in a sense, overcommitting and saying, hey, I'm going to be a one-trick pony. As long as that trick has an answer to it, then, he can be dealt with accordingly in the game. But yeah, that's a very interesting problem.
Alec says, no. That's not a question. I'm only reading questions.
Is it about my mom?
I've got a whole thread about that, buddy.
I answered Mr. Guerin's. Let's see.
Comrade Black, secret dev. One of our deputies.
I kind of want to ask weapon stuff about when Walter's on, but...
Yeah, we can save a lot of these questions for Walter.
Okay.
I shouldn't have even answered that previous question.
Okay, here's one.
Hey, guys.
Here, what maps or game modes will be coming next in bot training? Is the solo offline version making progress? This is from Conrad Black.
True. Always asking the very insightful questions. We could either put out more maps or we could improve the bot locomotion so that they behave more like a regular player. We're not going to spend a lot of dough right now on making the bot experience more robust. I don't want to give anyone the false impression that this is going to be something we're devoting a lot of resources to right now. In terms of the single-player bot stuff, I think Mike is working on that in the background. I'm not 100% sure about that.
He has sent me a bunch of fixes
True.
that are going in that'll improve some of the
The bot AI.
yeah
Yeah.
issues that people are running into.
Yeah, the single player in particular, Comrade Black is asking about, that's actually a pretty significant departure from our current infrastructure, which is why that takes longer than it seems like it should. But there are some nice benefits to us supporting that feature, like suddenly you'll be running the game locally rather than on the server. There's some nice benefits to that. So I think that Mike's working on it, not 100% sure.
How big of a role would you like to see support players fulfill in Loadout? The current implementation of things like healing in the turret buddy can make it a little underwhelming to play a primarily supportive role. That is also from Comrade Black.
True. Yeah, it's hard for me to stake a number to it, but I mean, if we talk about things in terms of, so competitive game mode with 4v4, I think it would be really great if there was a player that kind of said, I'm the dedicated support guy. Or another take on that is 2 or 3 players always make sure that they have a support weapon in their backpack.
Right.
Yeah. Hard for me to stick a number on that, but definitely want it to be impactful on the game at large. And I feel like it is right now. It's just, like even in Team Fortress, it's kind of a bummer, like no one wants to be the healer because there's no glory in it in a lot of ways, but
it's
I mean,
not
it's really
manly
important.
enough.
Exactly. Football.
Football, America.
Yeah, Walter talks a lot about how unsung like the offensive and defensive line is. There's a guy who played both of you guys playing college football, and it's like, who do you know on the football team? Quarterback, receiver, running back.
All the skill positions.
Yeah, all the people that score or touch the ball.
Yep.
But what makes that like, why is Tom Brady so badass?
Because
Never
of his
gets harassed.
O-line.
Never gets harassed.
Exactly. That's a question for Walter. Okay. This one is
Hey guys,
a big block.
tell me about Vampire
From the
Weekend
Angel.
sophomore album. Yes.
Rogue ain't.
Sorry, Walter.
From the Angel. First, how many players per team will there be when all is said and done?
Okay.
Not a big fan of 4 per team because it seems a little small to me. I like
Okay.
to see maybe 6 or at least 10.
True.
Or so.
Well,
at
I can
most.
tell you, from experience that the number 8v8 was once tried here at the studio, and it was crazy. So 4v4 we felt like was a really great compromise of keeping the action level up without getting too overwhelming. That's a real fine line that we walk on this project.
Right.
If we do introduce larger games, that will be treated as like a whole new feature, probably with unique or custom game modes. So for example, if we had Blitz, it would be multi-point Blitz.
Yeah.
We'd probably have to support bigger maps.
Yes.
Yeah. And there's also like a whole bunch of technological concerns because we have taken a lot of effort to make sure that this game runs on not so great machines. It runs very well on not so great machines. As a result, that means that we have to limit how many characters can draw on the screen at any given time. But, we'll probably take on the feature eventually, and then that will come along with some design considerations as well.
Yeah. That is a question for Walter.
Okay.
Okay. I will ask you this,
Yes.
and I'm going to word it a little bit differently. Sorry, Rogue Angel.
What the fuck is the matter with you
this
people?
Question
This is fucking stupid.
This question is, finally, what other payload ideas are floating around at EOR headquarters that could be put in? But I'm going to word it as, what payload in your mind do you have that you want to see in our game eventually?
The boob payload is definitely really high up there for me personally.
Being able to shoot boobs?
Yeah. For me personally, I don't know. Is this a Walter question?
No,
Am I
you
kinda
can.
stepping
No,
on his
that's,
toes?
I'm personally asking you what payload you would like to see in the game.
Well, I definitely like Ice because it's very unique. No one has anything like that as far as I can tell in other shooters. There is some kind of, like we've talked about, a lifesteal payload, something where, I attack someone and then it damages them and also gives me health back.
Right.
There are also some pretty crazy ones that, these are totally like wacky designer payloads, but you kill someone with this payload and then it takes them longer to respawn. And so there's like a strategic element to it.
Okay.
And it's kind of weird because those are totally like game rules things, not things that like make sense in terms of presentation.
You nail their body to the wall and then
I don't know how
they
you would
respawn
visually
them.
present that. Yeah, dude, you totally caught me off guard with this one. I don't know if I answered that very well. Yeah, I'm just gonna. There you go. I've given you some answers there. They were shitty, but there
his
you go.
boobs Ice and respawn longer
Yeah,
payload.
but
The
Wounds,
troll. Someone called it
number
the
one by a
troll
long shot.
payload.
The what?
The troll payload.
Ah, the troll payload.
There we go. After the game is released, do you guys plan to keep releasing 2 to 3 week updates, or is that strictly a beta feature?
We absolutely are going to continue introducing updates. Actually, I think we've been doing updates weekly, so that's
Well, it's slowed down with the. Well, I take that back. We did several hot fixes.
yeah. We'll always fix the bugs like
it's
as quickly
pretty
as
much-
possible.
Pretty much as quickly as possible, but I feel like this one has been slower.
True. If we do slow down to like every 2 weeks, what you'll end up getting is bigger updates. So it's true they'll be less frequent, but then they'll be more dense. I think it evens out.
Right.
For example, like the content production team is like always able to crank out tons of character customization.
Yeah.
We're hoping to do the same thing with weapon parts. So yeah, they'll be getting plenty of stuff. That's not showing any signs of slowing down significantly.
Tearcast also asked about player counts.
True.
Can we look forward to stuff like 12v12? Can you answer this while playing a guitar? We actually do have a keyboard in here.
Yeah, I could answer this while playing a guitar. Ask me that again in a couple weeks. Pick one of the mom questions.
I'm gonna ask one of the mom questions
All right, go
from
ahead.
Barry.
I've written many of these down. I was gonna sign off with these.
I'm gonna try to ask you one that you probably didn't answer.
Okay.
What is your mother's favorite painter?
Vermeer.
God, how do you know that? How do you know that? I don't even think my mom likes painting, and if she does, I wouldn't know.
We're a very well-traveled family.
God damn it!
I
thought
also
would
know what her
stump you.
favorite painting is because we have a reproduction of it at her house. It is Mona Lisa, which is painted by the Blue Ninja Turtle. Let's see if anyone knows who that is.
The
We
Blue
might have to
Ninja
give it a
Turtle.
crowd. The Blue Ninja Turtle. Who is that?
Who is that? I expect to see a link. Someone is Googling right now.
And what weapons does he wield?
What the fuck is Blue Ninja?
There you
Leonardo.
go, correct. Leonardo is the Blue Ninja Turtle. That is correct. He's not blue. His bandana is blue.
Oh, here's one. Yes, you won't know this one. What is your mother's favorite website?
She told me the other day, but I couldn't remember. It was like, I think it was called Goatsea something or other.
Etsy?
Goatsea. I don't remember the URL. Maybe one of you guys knows what it is in the chat.
Goatsy?
Goatsea. I don't know. My mom's a crazy lady. Anyway, let's keep on going.
Okay, we'll come back to the mom questions.
Yeah.
Brain asked,
The same thing we do every night.
same thing we do every night, Pinky. Anyway,
do you
if
think?
competitive games will ever be presented, how are you going to deal with time zone arrangement and matchmaking between teams from different countries?
Oh, okay. So right now we're actually kind of isolating play between regions. You can switch between regions whenever you want to in the options menu. In the event that we have a tournament that needs to go international, we'll probably just say, hey, depending on what two teams are playing, we'll pick the region that's most favorable to both of them.
For the time?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
That's
that
probably
makes
how we'll
sense.
do it.
On that note, this is another.
I've never thought about that. That's
Yeah, this is something that's.
Yeah, that's smart. That's smart stuff right there. Brain, are you thinking the same thing that I'm thinking?
Do you think that we're going to? I would love to get you for some of our eventual tournaments down the line to get
Mhm.
you in there commentating. Maybe Walter, myself.
Hey guys.
Hey guys.
So,
Well, he does.
guy here, he's got a.
Ian does excellent play-by-play. Like, if you guys are gone to, for anyone out there that has been to one of our events and heard Ian on the mic when he's doing play-by-play, it's spot on. So,
I also am really good at making fun of Ty.
yes. And he's not here to defend himself,
No,
so
he might be watching this right now.
he's not.
He was tweeting us from Jamaica.
He's not.
He sent a picture of his sister in a bikini. I was impressed. Did you see that?
Did he really?
He did.
I
think-
don't
think
don't
he's-
look at any other female
Oh,
on this planet. I am married to my
true.
loving.
Yeah, Christy and your daughter. Those are the two females that you need only concern yourself with.
Will there be a separate quick match option for the current game modes?
We'll probably add that when we expand the list.
Okay.
That's non-controversial.
That's a Walter question,
Okay.
and that's
He's gonna punch me when I go back to my desk.
That's a Danny question. or 4 points be banned in competitive play?
Competitive play will probably revolve around the new game mode, which will require the new level. So I guess in a sense it will be banned. Yeah.
What if we also throw CT or capture the hammer in there?
Jackhammer. I could see Jackhammer being in there as well.
Yeah.
We'll see how this game mode turns out. If it's like super elaborate and like really changes the face of Loadout, then we're kind of sticking our flag in the ground and saying this is the game type now.
Okay.
But if not, then that's totally on board.
What modes do you intend to be played by the competitive community? You answered that one at the
Yep.
beginning.
The new game mode that we're working on right now, just so that we don't keep on calling it as the exploration effort is called the competitive game mode, or I'm calling it territory control. is the first
Territory
version.
control.
Yeah, that's
Terra
just a
control.
working name. I mean, the working name of this project was Bro for a long time.
Bro.
That don't mean anything, bro.
What up, bro?
Yeah, bro. Dude, bro.
Zetchi asks, will we be seeing private lobbies soon?
Probably not before we do the clan stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, so it'll probably go
So parties, clans.
and then private
Private.
lobbies. But then again, that's so far away that it's really hard for me to predict.
Yeah.
I can tell you right now that parties is like the new hot shit. And after that, it'll probably be clans or something else.
Let's see here. When will clan tags be? Oh, we have to answer that.
Yeah. Well, I can actually, on a related note, those of you that have bought the, what is it, the Absolute Badass pack?
Is that the name of bot?
Well, that's rolling right now.
Okay. The other one is the display name, right?
Yeah, the other one is
That's the
founder,
founders.
it's been renamed. It's the Elite name tag.
I think it is the Absolute Badass.
Yeah,
And
the
then
Absolute
other one's
Badass
Founders.
includes the Elite name tag, which is a badge that will show up in front of your name in the scoreboard, in the lobby.
Yeah.
We should be rolling that out pretty soon.
Okay.
Yeah. I think probably within a month. Can't say what build specifically because, it's hard to predict when you have so many people working on a feature, but probably
Yeah.
within the next month.
All right. That sounds sweet. Junglist has some really good questions.
Oh, yeah. One of my best Twitter friends.
Is the EOR tourney still happening? I would like for it to.
Oh, yeah.
That's the first one.
Yeah.
Is there any chance we'll be getting both 3v3 and 5v5 rooms for competitive play?
Probably going to,
Up in the air?
starting with 4v4. I can say that.
Okay.
If we change the numbers as well, either to keep short game times or just for variety, we'll look into that next.
Where the hell did you get that awesome beer holding belt buckle?
Wow. My wife got that for me for my birthday. I think those are custom made and they're made to order. So it actually took months for me to get it. And my best friend's wife is the one that found it and emailed her secretly to tell her about it. I don't know where it came from, but it is fucking amazing.
It is
Yeah.
probably the best thing I've seen.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's actually a very impractical belt buckle because it's so heavy that it actually undoes itself. Convenient, some might say. But yeah, as a result, I only wear it for show.
How many
It's
pairs
ridiculous.
of boots do you have? Do you own?
I own 2 pairs of cowboy boots.
You want to tell them what they are?
These are Stingray.
His Stingray boots.
Distressed cow leather up top. I also have a matching wallet here.
Here's his Stingray wallet.
Yes, it's true.
This is why we call him a douchebag sometimes, because
Boy.
he always talks about his boots.
Well, I'm not going to answer the second half of that
Why
question.
not?
then.
I'm just saying. This
Uh,
is what.
I also have a pair of ostrich boots. They're ostrich and elephant, also with distressed cow leather up top.
Somebody said that's swag, right? Yankuza.
Yeah.
He is full of swag.
Yeah. I don't know. That's not a good thing where I come from.
What swag?
Yeah.
Why?
That implies like lower quality.
No way.
All right. Well, let's move on
That's
from
your
my
style.
wardrobe. As all of you can see, I'm not wearing an Ed Hardy shirt today.
He is not wearing an Ed Hardy
In fact,
shirt.
I don't own any.
He is
Are you-
dispelling that rumor. Are
Are
you the
you-
best Street Fighter player in
It's
the
not-
studio? Let's.
In the studio, I think that's probably a safe yes now, because Jonathan Lowe doesn't work here anymore. In the world, I haven't played everyone in the world, so I really can't say for sure, but my experience is yes. Yeah.
If
So,
he
yes,
saw
I
Daigo
think
right
so.
now, he would.
I'd probably pee my pants.
He would probably, yeah.
Kendall used to... Why don't you tell them the funny trick he used to play on me when we would go out to trade shows?
Every time we go to a trade show, and like I'd be like, hey, there's some Street Fighter guys over there. I'd be
Yeah, I
like,
saw Justin
hey,
Wong.
I just saw Justin Wong. Oh man, you know who else I saw? Daigo. And then every time I do it, he's like, oh,
Yeah, my eyes
where's he?
would light up a
Oh
little
my
bit.
god, where's he at?
Just a little bit.
Where's Daiko?
So I will say quite similarly, when you were on break at South by Southwest, Cliffy B came to
Cliffy
the
B
booth,
came over to the booth.
which was because, you know, he came to the booth to play the game. I was calling him a douchebag on the microphone. I don't know how he felt about that. But at any rate, I texted Kendall.
Did you really say that?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
He was all the way in the back, so I don't think he heard me.
Okay.
But at any rate, I mean, he is the Tony Stark of video games.
He is
so
Tony Stark of
Maybe
video
I shouldn't
games.
talk shit about him. He's obviously a genius. So I texted Kendall, who I know is a big Cliffy B fan based on his output, and I was really hoping that you would kind of have this freak out, geek out moment, and then come running back. But you were cool.
Yep.
You were cool. I mean, you've met the guy plenty of times before.
Just 2 times.
True.
And the first time I met him, it was kind of a freak out moment.
Really? You
You
were a little starstruck.
Yeah. So here's what happened. We were sitting down
So
eating,
ridiculous.
and I was happened to be with some of my buddies from Epic,
Yeah, like Quinn, right?
Quinn,
Yeah.
and we were having lunch and or dinner. I can't remember. So we're sitting there eating.
Oh, that's
and
right. We talked about that.
Yeah, he's kind of just gently tells me, he's like, "Hey, Cliffy's behind you. He's right outside." And I was like, "What? What? Are you serious?" I locked up, and I was like, and I just literally just stared at him for a little bit. And someone was like, "Aren't you gonna go out there?" I was like, "Yeah."
I need to stick my hands in my pockets first to conceal this flag raising.
So that's my Cliffy
Anyway,
B story.
yeah, that's good. That's good for you to get
First time
starstruck.
meeting him. All right, so Izaku, I think is how you say his name.
Yeah, he's the one that posted the crazy video that Rob emails me
Rob,
about
yeah.
all the time. Yeah. That's good.
Is it possible to test pre-made feature before anything else?
Yes, we've actually been talking about that a little bit.
Rolling in the
using the beta tab, perhaps. The reason why we haven't done that yet is because our population's not huge. We're still in early access, but when we go into open beta, our population will probably get quite a bit bigger, and then we'll probably have enough numbers to support that.
Okay.
Probably won't be open all the time. We'll just say, hey, this weekend we're going to be inviting you guys to test this feature in the beta tab. That's probably how it'll go down.
Yeah. How's the tournament feature going to work? Is it going to be a league or something along those lines?
Yeah, it's I would say that it's a number of features that kind of work together. One of the models that we're using for this is StarCraft 2 or League of Legends.
Okay.
So one of the features is parties. You'll be able to enter matchmaking with your friends, and y'all will be treated as a unit. You'll be put on the same team,
Right.
unless of course there's more than 4 of you guys. So you guys will enter the matchmaking queue as a group. You'll play against another team, and then there will be a ladder score to track your team's performance on the ladder.
Okay.
So depending on how well you win or lose and how stiff the competition was, you'll go up or you'll go down. So party matchmaking and ladder are the 2, I guess, fundamentals of our, how would you call this? Our ranking system.
Ranking system.
Yeah.
And then someone says, will the system be based on ELO? So skill-based matchmaking.
Yeah, related to ELO for sure. That's actually, for those of you that are really big algorithm nerds, there's a lot of interesting articles that are published by Microsoft. The ELO system is big on Wikipedia.
Mm-hmm.
Microsoft's algorithm is TrueSkill, which addresses some of the problems with ELO, such as accounting for teams rather than just individuals, because ELO was initially a chess ranking system,
Right.
1v1. And then also, it also sorts people based on how well they did compared to other players, since there's multiple players in the match. So
Okay.
TrueSkill is I guess a derivative of ELO for multiple people.
I,
I watched The Social Network recently, and they talked about that at the very beginning, and I was like, oh man,
yeah, they did.
totally about that.
How many brackets? Is this related to the...
Yeah, I'm not sure if the brackets.
1v1,
I've mentioned this to
2v2,
you. Just
3v3.
philosophically, I think it's always very good to give players little carrots to dangle. Like, hey, I'm in the bronze league and I want to
Right.
rank up to the silver league, the gold league, the platinum league. How many brackets will there be? I don't know. I don't even know if we'll include brackets in this first pass, but definitely want to add something like that for the reason I just said. Them carrots.
Are you going to organize tournaments?
Are we talking about in person?
Internally, I think.
Internally, yeah, that's actually how we're going to start working on the features. We're going to bring back the Edge of Reality Tournament League. Maybe we should broadcast those games just because it's cool.
Possibly. And then externally.
Externally, it is possible for us to obviously take this game to an esporting event if we wanted to. Supporting online tournaments is also another big feature, which I mentioned a lot of party-based matchmaking
Right.
or queue or ranked matches All those things require us to rewrite the matchmaker, which is something that a lot of people have heard us say a million times over, or rewrite some of our infrastructure.
Right.
That's a big task. We're working on it now. Bo Buchanan specifically is working on it now. And I don't know how long that sort of thing takes. It's a big deal. But as soon as we can get that done, all these features become possible. Thank you, Bo. He often listens to these things.
He does.
If we're polite, then they get done faster.
He says, are
Bo,
you
you're the
going to
best.
organize events? I would love to organize playoffs. And he has, in parentheses, playoffs and stuff like that. Like
True.
he just said, externally. Once that matchmaker rewrite happens, then a lot of these things become possible. And I specifically want to have a number of community events, whether we give away space bucks, exclusive, like, oh, you just won your team jersey or
Yeah,
whatever. We're going to
that's
make your
sick.
team jersey. I mean, those type of
Love shit
ideas
like that.
sound really awesome to me. So I would love to be able to do that and have that be something eventually.
I think it's probably pretty obvious from like I'm a big Street Fighter guy and Kendall's a big competitive shooter guy. We're
Yeah.
big esports nerds. Like I watch a lot of Street Fighter. He obviously watches a lot of, I don't know, any competitive game in general.
Yeah.
So we're really into features like that. Rob ultimately decides what we're working on next, but this whole competitive loadout is a big thing for us. So, those are on the table now.
Here's one that's actually coming up really soon. I think you're going to be happy to answer this one. Can we have more statistics per match?
Why?
Accuracy per weapon, percentage of using per weapon, kills per weapon, average DPS, HPS, damage dealt, damage taken, average lifetime, collected health pack, collected ammo pack, etc., etc.,
Those are
etc.
good ideas.
Yeah, they are.
Where were you 3 weeks ago when I wrote that design document?
I needed to have this.
Yeah, we needed to have this. All right. Well, it's not like we can't go back and change some things around.
Yeah.
We're adding a lot more fields to the in-game scoreboard. Now, a lot of these things that you mentioned, I think, are more appropriate for your trophy room. Like you're looking in the weapon crafting room,
Right.
and you're looking at all the guns you've created, and you're like, how many kills have I gotten with this gun in its lifetime?
Right.
We don't have any system to track that, but that's really badass. We'll probably add something like that eventually.
Here's an interesting question. And when I saw this, I was like, will cosmetics be normalized for competitive play?
I don't know. Maybe that's something that we'll have to consider banning as well, or like placing restrictions on.
Would that make the disguise obsolete, you think?
I don't think so, because I think we still want people to be able to dress up their dude. I mean, from an esports perspective, I think it's very good to be able to say, like, oh, there's Arctic, I can recognize him by his outfit. Which is
Right.
very good. Just
Just so
within
you
this-
guys know, I would have my own Edge of Reality jersey on.
we
and-
don't even have that.
We don't. There's the furries
The what? The furries?
or the Furies rather.
Oh, okay. The
I think
furries.
it's either the Furies or the furries. I'm not sure. I have to check to see if there's two
oh,
R's
yeah,
in
yeah.
there.
It's like the baseball jersey?
Yeah,
Oh, that's badass.
Actually, this is for some of you guys that don't know. I've actually put in a request to have Edge of Reality jerseys made.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
we might have some.
Yeah, that would be sick.
So what do you think? Should they be normalized? No? Yes? Maybe?
I think we could probably just leave it up to players at the beginning. And if it turns out that like a lot of them are underused or this one is being abused, so to speak, because it gives you some kind of competitive advantage, we'll figure out a way to deal with that.
Okay.
Unreal Tournament certainly reduced to that. Like there were like hordes of player models that were never used because they just made you so big in the game world.
Right.
Don't want to be in that situation.
Weapon restriction features. Kind of talked about this. I don't know if you want to revisit that again, but weapon restrictions.
Yeah. I think that what you said is the right plan. We'll start out by saying there are no restrictions, and then
let the community kind of
let the community give us an idea of like what kind of patterns are we seeing, and then we'll create a system where players that are running tournaments, including ourselves, can specify what parts or combinations of parts are legal and which ones are not.
Okay.
Take some questions from the stream.
Yes.
Perhaps.
Yes, that was the. You know what? Some people probably posted in this.
Barded. There is a female. Helga. Google it. Barded obviously has lots of interest in females, particularly my mother.
Let's answer another one of his questions.
Does my mother like beards?
I think she's indifferent to them. My dad has a beard sometimes, particularly when he's lazy. She doesn't seem to complain about it. So I would guess indifferent. What is your mother's favorite singer? That's an easy one. She really likes Elvis a lot.
Really?
She really likes Elvis. My mom's pretty old. She's like 70.
Yeah, but Elvis though.
It's about red time.
I guess.
Similar.
You think she was like googly eyed over him at
She
the
was
time?
definitely googly eyed. In fact, she saw him once.
Did she?
Yeah, I believe she did.
Wow.
What is my mother's favorite actor? Tom Cruise. Do you hear that, Danny Matson? Tom Cruise.
I actually really like Tom Cruise, so
I just watched Tropic Thunder last night. Talk about exceptional Tom Cruise roles. That is certainly a highlight of his career.
oh boy.
What is your mother's favorite game? Certainly not Loadout. That's I don't know if she's a fan of Loadout. I think she is in the sense that she's very proud that we've accomplished this thing.
Right.
Does she approve of this game? I hope the answer is no. I hope she's offended by it.
My mom actually really thought the game was cool. When
She thought it was cool?
Yeah, when she came by.
She also thought Ty was very handsome.
She thought Ty was very handsome. My mom, I don't know if she said that to me or to Ty, but I told Ty anyway. My mom
You're
would do
very
that.
handsome.
My mom would be like, "You're very handsome," and make you feel kind of uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But they're like, "Thanks."
He'd handle that well. He would handle that just fine.
Yeah.
All right. Real questions from the stream, not about my mother. Can we get your T-shirt Ian in Loadout? I don't wear T-shirts, so no. Ha.
He stopped wearing. There was a period of time where you told me that you used to wear T-shirts because you'd be working out.
Yeah, I used to work out in the mornings, and so I would just wear my workout clothes here to the office.
Yeah.
I got no respect that way, so I had to change the way I dressed.
Yeah.
That's probably a true story. Are you guys focusing on making the game more esports-like? The answer is yes. In fact, that is the purpose of this stream. We are talking about some of the competitive features of writing the game, first and foremost, a new game type.
Yes. I've had several people ask me about, because I know I'm a big advocate for bomb game types.
Oh yeah, bombing run or whatever.
Not bombing run, just like search and destroy type,
Oh yeah, like the Counter-Strike.
Counter-Strike type thing.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Classic.
don't be
He's influencing
discouraged.
me. He's influencing me.
Don't be discouraged. I
it's twisting
constantly
my arm.
pester him about search and destroy.
You have to if you let your internal influences just guide you through this job, this game would have dragon punches and fireballs. So you got to say what's right for Loadout. You gotta eyes on the prize.
My eyes are on the prize
Yeah,
right now.
I mean, at least you're coming from a shooter.
Shooter
Me, on the other
standpoint,
hand,
exactly.
I'm like, yeah,
He's like,
dragon punches, fireballs.
these guys need more special abilities.
Need some
Why
links.
can't I combo?
Some links. Not just canceling combos. Links, chains, the whole shebang.
You say that like that is a bad thing, but there are fireballs. Exactly.
That is true. That's the closest I've come to reproducing Street Fighter professionally. 10 out of 10 would play with Dragon Punch. That should be a shirt. Will Loadout be as strategic as Counter-Strike and League of Legends? So, Chrome, the answer is we are actually looking to League of Legends quite a bit in these game type explorations. As I mentioned, right now we're adding the notion of this new game type will first be built on what's the objective. And our first spot will be capture the control points, connect the dots to capture all the control points to capture your enemy's base control point. Once we have that in place, we'll play it by itself and see if we need to add another layer on top of that. One of the layers we might add is we'll add a metagame where there's workers involved that you're farming, a lot like League. Perhaps we'll do something with extraction since we've already done that before. We'll just see what happens next. Smith Villamin. Will the melee system be changed so you can use melee midair? That's a good question. So melee's been a pretty big issue for us due to the speed of our player.
I was going to say, it doesn't have to do with the locomotion.
Yeah, it's because of the speed of our player, you actually can move a lot further, and the network tick is only so fast because it's the internet after all. And so making melee more effective is oftentimes problematic for us. That said, allowing it to be used in midair, I don't know, we might add that eventually. I don't think that would really cause too much harm.
Dragon punch.
Yeah, it's like a jump in fierce, follow with a low forward, and then dragon punch or fireball, depending on how close you are. Focus attack dash cancel, ultra. Go on.
Can you show us cryo, Ian?
Why don't you guys ask Walter when he's in here?
Yeah.
Is he even here next week?
Walter's in here next week.
Hey guys.
There's going to be probably a lot of questions on weapons, I imagine.
Hey guys.
Yeah.
Considering that we have a billion combinations.
Yeah.
A lot of people.
I mean, the people come to Loadout and they say, what is this game about? Dudes that work out is answer number one, and then crazy weapon crafting is
Number
often
two.
answer
Yeah.
number two.
Yeah.
Yeah. Walter kind of he's both of those things.
He
He's
is.
a weapon crafting designer and a dude that works out. Walter's pretty big. Played college football at Harvard. Big dude. I beat him in arm wrestling once.
Once.
That's not true.
But you guys are focused on being straight.
Very strategic. Oh, okay. So again,
Team-based.
Chrome with a follow-up. Here we are in a dialogue. Him typing, me talking. We are focusing on the strategic team-based aspects of the game. And on a related note, a lot of the decisions we're making in level design are to emphasize the strategic depth in weapon crafting as well.
It would be
Synergy.
It would be cool to see a game type like Juggernaut from Halo.
You know, we actually prototyped that a long time ago.
That's why I'm laughing, because I remember that.
You remember that?
I do.
Yeah, just to give you guys an idea of like some of the things we're chasing with this new game type. So let's get designer philosophical for a second. So like if you think about like Blitz, the game is fundamentally compelling players to go to this one location.
Right.
And then if you think about Extraction, it's true that the radar pings, but the game is fundamentally telling you to go to one of two locations. You either support your collector or you attack the enemy collector.
Right.
And then those actually kind of produce a very similar pacing. It's just like, go do this thing, and there will always be a fight here.
Right.
And so, like an attempt with this game type is to kind of create shape. The idea that like sometimes you're not in a firefight, sometimes you're doing something productive, which isn't necessarily fighting the enemy team directly. And that's something that Jackhammer, I think, is succeeding very well with.
Right.
And that's the thing we're trying to recreate with the new
It's
game
like,
type as
I'm
well.
setting up mines so that when this guy comes around the flag, he has to go through this.
Exactly. There are aspects of Loadout which aren't explored by Blitz, for example, because territory control isn't permanent. Is it super meaningful to lay down a whole bunch of mines? I think the answer is probably no. But then in Jackhammer, when you're trying to defend your territory to hold it, all of a sudden that is a lot more meaningful.
Right.
And
And not only that, in Blitz, because it's random, you could set up mines in the wrong spot.
that's right.
So it's like,
That's exactly right. And it's not permanent.
exactly.
All right.
Let's see what else do we have here from the chat.
Would you ever do something like TF2's man versus machine mode? The answer to that is we've definitely talked
Is that
about
like
it.
zombies?
It's like zombies.
Okay.
I think in order for us to do that, we really would want to do something like that the right way, where like we're actually giving you like very unique enemy types that compel you to do different things. Like this guy is weak against Tesla, and he probably looks really different than a regular dude.
And flying alien dragon thingies.
And flying alien dragon thingies named Ryu. So, yeah, if we did a feature like that, that would be huge because we want to do it in what we consider the right way. And so that's not super high up on our list. But, you know, who knows what the future holds. This is, in very many ways, a community-developed game.
Yes,
We look at what people are interested in playing.
that is very true.
So if you guys are interested in that,
Zombie kittens? Oh, that's just evil. They want to fight zombie kittens. Slider Raider.
I don't know how I'd feel about that.
I don't want to
Like-
make a kitten out.
If there was like a zombie dog, would I be okay with like shooting its head off?
Well, see, here's the thing. Zombie dogs from Resident Evil made me very creeped out and nasty, and I didn't like those. So
True.
I could definitely
True.
shoot a dog, but a kitten?
Oh, it's a dog. What if it's your dog?
I'd blast my dog.
Wow. What if it was your child?
I
yeah, it's
would
hard
not
now.
do that. That's not the same thing.
You just don't have a dog. You happen to have a child. That's why you can say that. I have a dog. I can empathize. That would be a very difficult decision for me to make.
I had a dog too. He bit me.
So you blasted his fucking face off. You never bit me again.
Solve that problem.
Zombie Rockies. All right. Give me them questions talking about practice. I want to fight a drunken unicorn rushing you for melee damage. That's interesting.
You considering adding pre-kill taunts, giving you up on radar with a possible awesome kill animation, risk reward.
So we taunt, and then I kill somebody, and then I get some kind of bonus for it.
Yeah,
That's pretty awesome. I've never thought about that before. A good suggestion.
space bucks.
Space bug.
We give you 5 space bucks for every
That's-
taunt that you do.
My favorite taunt still to this day. Make it rain. The taunt.
We need to make this a taunt. I want you to explain it because this is his taunt. I've actually talked about it a couple times on stream, but you're hearing it first hand from Ian himself. This is the man that wants this taunt in.
Well, I don't think you can say it's like my taunt. Like
It is your
I'm the
taunt.
person that invented making it rain. But anyway, if you have like, let's say you're just at some miscellaneous bar where there are a lot of women as compared to men, and you have a whole bunch of dollar bills, you will often like walk up and then like do this maneuver with the dollar bills. It's called making it rain. Imagine a similar taunt loadout with space bucks. I mean, I can't think of anything more insulting than that. You are making it rain space bucks on your opponent.
There is nothing more insulting than that because
That's-
you're literally giving them your money
Yeah, you're
on their
pissing.
dead
Wow,
corpse.
that's offensive.
That is really offensive.
That would make me rage.
I would probably quit the game
Wow, that would make you rage
I
quit?
would probably quit the game
Wow.
if someone killed me and then threw their space bucks, their hard-earned space bucks, at me.
Wow, that's a powerful taunt.
That is a powerful
That
taunt.
is a really strong taunt.
That is really strong.
Wow.
With great power comes great responsibility. Perhaps we should reconsider. Any possibility of ever distributing a dedicated server package so we can host our own public games a la TF2? We will probably not distribute it in the way that TF2 does. What we'll probably do is let you rent it through our game UI. I think Battlefield is a very similar technique.
Mhm.
So that's how we'll be delivering that feature to you guys publicly. We will also be taking builds to certain locations for, like, let's say we do an esports in-person tournament.
Yeah.
We'll either take the build or we'll give it to a trusted source, and that build will probably have an expiration date / timestamp just to make sure that it doesn't get
Yeah.
How
So
do you-
people can hack
exactly.
and
Exactly. Security very important.
All
right. 10 minutes left.
You should add a 1% increase to capture speed in Blitz if you taunt on the capture point. That's actually a feature.
Yeah, who just said that?
Uh,
Yeah, check out those pro
Rabbit
tips.
Llamas.
Those pro tips. Taunting makes the capture point increase.
Mark and I
1%
actually
faster.
had a discussion that if 4 people were taunting, it should go 4% faster.
It stacks.
Does it stack?
It stacks based
Okay.
on the base damage. It's like the way that like World of Warcraft, for example, they do it all based on base capture rate.
Yeah.
So like you as a guy, you get a 1% increase of the base capture rate, and then that's additive when everyone else goes on.
The funny thing is, I've seen people taunting on
Yeah.
the.
Yeah.
They die.
Yeah,
but they
it's
taunt.
one of those features that
Risk
people weren't
reward.
aware of. And so, you put a tip of the day in there, and all of a sudden people are like, oh, crap, that's how it's done. Yeah.
Doing the cabbage
Dance
patch.
party, baby.
Are you looking for a specific team size for competitive scene or separate brackets for different team sizes?
We're starting with 4v4. That said, very brilliant observations have been made that perhaps a 3v3 or a 5v5 would be fundamentally better for competitive play. We'll see how 4v4 plays out and then decide from there.
Will you guys allow us to have extensive custom game modification, like a ton of details you could mess around with?
Yes, that will probably be part of the letting you host your own game package.
Low gravity mode.
Yeah, this
Big
game is
head mode.
tying it in here. Someone just said, "What is this game about?" This is Loadout. It's a shooter brought to you by Edge of Reality, currently in early access on Steam. But the game revolves around customization. Characters customizable, weapons completely customizable. You build every single weapon in the game out of parts that you collect. And so eventually we'll let you host your own games. Those will be customizable as well. I don't know why we like customization so much. We
Yeah,
just fucking love
we
it.
just love
God,
it.
I love customizing shit. Damn.
This game is PvP only, or is there PvE?
There
is
is
now PvE.
There's a practice mode. There is a practice mode against bots.
I like being able to say that now.
Yep, that is cool.
Captain.
Yeah, just to be clear, it's as opposed to
Darian
like
Frey.
horde mode, which is I consider like you're fighting enemy classes, and that's like a really massive game type in and of itself. Ours is more like practice mode. You're
Right.
playing the regular game against bots.
Right.
Practice. Talking about practice.
Bad at third person. Are you looking into random weapon game mode?
That
Don't
one
we
comes
get
up
this
a lot.
question a lot? Yeah.
That one comes up. We actually even play that at the office sometimes for shits and giggles.
Yeah.
Just to explain why we've kind of dragged our feet on this, like loadout and weapon crafting is really about like making compelling choices, strategic choices that fit your playstyle.
Right.
And random weapon is kind of not that at all. It's
Right.
an impressive leverage of the technology, but not perhaps the spirit of what the game is intended to be played as.
I think some people, perhaps this could be like one of those things. You know, we talked about event playlists,
Yep.
which I'm surprised we didn't get any questions on that. But
Yeah,
we talked about event playlists where maybe we throw in for like 1 week, we do like random game mode or something like that, just to
Yeah.
let people kind of have fun and maybe get a contract completed or something like that. So
Yeah.
that'd be cool.
That's a really good idea, actually, to do it as part of like the playlist of the week or
Yeah.
playlist of the day. I
Yeah.
like that because it does, like it's really fun. It's really awesome and an awesome use of the technology for sure.
Right.
But then, like what's Loadout supposed to be about, and like the weapon crafting choices being strategic and meaningful is really important to us.
Right.
But still, that is badass, no doubt.
Yes, we do read every forum post. Bigness is
Rob.
correct.
Reads every forum post. And then he emails me about the ones that I need to read. I'm actually not complaining about that. I actually think it's a really badass personality trait of his. I say that because my annual review's coming up soon.
Do you do you plan to add like PvE maps, like wave defending?
Yeah, we've talked about that here and there. We call it horde mode just for the point of convenience, but we
That's a really big feature. We'll look into that in the distant future, but we've definitely talked about it before.
Beta Angel asks, any interest in opening up suggestions, community created maps, cosmetics, and the like?
Yeah, actually, were we going to create a thread for community map ideas? I thought we had talked about.
So right now, to answer the question, Beta Angel, we do that currently, but maps we haven't done. So
Yeah, we should
right
totally
now
do
we
that.
have cosmetics, which people can suggest willingly, openly.
Rocket
We
Afro,
have-
for example.
Yeah, Rocket Afro has been
Awesome.
one that was suggested. It was freaking looks amazing.
Yeah, it does.
Walrus wants tusks.
Oh, what a surprise!
Uh,
What a cool guy.
Then we have things like taunts.
Yeah.
Danny, our lead animator and lead artist, has actually posted a thread, and I need to actually follow up with that. We actually sifted through, and I'll be posting a forum post up here really soon, where you guys get to vote on community taunt. So yeah, we do things like that, and the community map sounds like one. What do we want? Like them to design, sketch it out?
Yeah, we've people
Brainstorm?
have sketched before or talked about like setting ideas. Those are also always welcome.
So yeah, let me think about that. How we can post it,
Yeah, I think
and then
it's always cool to
have it
like
put
just
up.
leave it pretty open ended.
Yeah.
You know that
Yeah.
because you never know what you're gonna get.
I'm gonna have to go to Tom, and he's gonna be like,
Oh,
uh,
yeah.
yeah.
No, that's cool.
Someone says wager matches.
Which with like
Community-
someone's been playing a little bit of that Injustice.
Wager matches.
Wager. Like playing for space bucks, for pink slips, for guns, for gun parts.
Source code said.
That's heavy.
Yeah,
That's heavy.
I
I never thought about that.
I'd pay.
course
If
you
you have a
would. You're
cryo
used to winning in
payload,
that
if you have a
situation.
cryo payload and I don't have one, I'm gonna wager match you for your payload, buddy.
Wow, that's ballsy. That's a crazy idea. I'll think about that one.
Yeah, give me that. Let me see. There was a question. Oh, source code. Here's a good one. Since we're about to wrap up,
His name is source code.
His
or
name
he's
is source
asking for
code
source
737. He
access?
says, so this is free to play. Free to play games always have something fishy about them.
Hmm.
Is it pay to win type of game?
Okay. Should I give the canned response here?
You can give the canned
Yes,
response.
It is pay to win. No.
Okay, so
We really don't believe in being pay to win. Some of the games that we model ourselves after are like League of Legends, which are like these really pure competitive experiences where like buying into the game doesn't give you a competitive match or advantage within the course of a match.
Right.
I think we even do a really good job of going a step further by saying that there are some things that you can only get by playing the game. You can't even spend money to get them. So contracts and weapon tiers are a great example of that. In order for you to level your gun, because not only can you build a gun on parts, but you can level it as you play with it more. That can only be conducted by playing. You can't buy into that system.
Right.
Not pay to win.
Not pay to win. Let me see. I'm gonna try to get one, maybe two more questions.
Ooh. No.
all right, all right. Well, here I'll throw in one.
You should yeah, go with the mom. Go with the mom questions.
What is my mom's favorite restaurant? I think right now, actually, this is gonna sound ridiculous, but I think she like is really into like just having dinner over at me and Jessica's house because I don't know.
You
guess
do. He's a pretty good cook.
I cook. So I would say that Cafe de Villamin is the favorite restaurant of hers for the time being. All right. That's a good one. Oh, here we go. What is your mother's favorite dev at EOR? Unlike what Ty would have you guys believe, I think the answer is actually me.
That's
Ty might suggest that, you know, because he's had sex with her, that he is in fact her favorite, but I don't think that's true. Either statement. Although he might try and suggest to you guys that that is. I don't think that's true at all.
Beta Andrew. Are we gonna be at PAX Prime? Yes, we will.
We will be there.
Rabid Llamas. Me and Tim's question spam for life. Will there ever be customizable melee weapons more than just the hammer, like light swords and chainsaws?
We've talked about it. We've talked about it. Maybe putting it on stocks, for example, might be a good way to do it. Or Danny's also like, you know, sometimes we've got the knife or something else like it. Use it as like a style kill, perhaps. Might happen.
Maybe.
Might happen.
Cafe de Villamin.
Wait.
He's actually in here.
Who? Barded.
Barded.
True.
I didn't know he would be in here. I didn't.
Yeah, he
see
was
his
asking
name.
questions earlier.
Okay. Yeah.
I want to
just
ask
missed that.
Barded a question. I have a question for the community. So Barded, like, what is it about my mother that you find so interesting? Are you Thai? Is Barded Thai?
That's not Ty.
It's not Thai.
Well, let's see
I
if he
think
answers.
I think because of the weekly dev live stream, which is on Wednesdays,
True. Where
And-
my mom comes up a lot.
and Ty's mom comes up quite a bit too.
I saw a picture of her on Facebook for the first time the other day.
Were you impressed?
She's a good-looking lady. I'd give her about a 5.
You normally don't look at her.
Yeah. I usually see her head. I don't see her face very often. It's really weird. That's horrible. Oh. Anna's
Ark
probably
mentioned
watching.
adding funny AI turret voices. You guys should add these. Oh, so yeah, there was a forum
Oh, yeah.
post, and I said that I wanted my turret to have a Wally voice.
Yeah. You know, it actually does kind of emote the way that like R2D2 emotes or the
Yeah.
way that Wally emotes is like.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it kind of does already. I love shit like that.
You see, I'm looking for one
Here's the
last
crazy
question.
Voice for R2D2 and the voice for Wally, same guy.
Nuh-uh.
Legendary sound designer.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Same guy.
Okay, so Chrome. Oh wait,
Is this the
let's-
last one?
I don't want to make his the last one. That's a really good question,
All right.
but I want to find another one because you've answered 2 of his.
Question.
Oh, here's a good question.
Are you going to go deeper into the story? There is a thread on the forums.
That's from Noam.
Yeah. Is he the one that wrote that?
Noam. Yeah,
He
he
is?
did. He wrote the story.
I want Noam to write the story at this point. That's certainly the best backstory I've ever read about Loadout, and I would just love to see that legend continue.
The funny thing is, he actually is uncovering the bits of the story in the game. Like he's reading on the signs and piecing it all together.
That's
and
awesome.
So,
Well, I hope that you continue your fan fiction exploration and like piece together from the clues that we provide for you in the content. I just keep going, man, because your backstory is my favorite one thus far. It's fucking awesome. All right, one more. Shall we wrap it up after this?
One more, and then yeah, we'll do the
All right.
closing out.
Why is there only white and black character, not Chinese or Filipino?
There's not Filipino.
I know.
I want
There's
to answer
not.
that question with a question because I'm going to ask that when Danny's on. How many guys are you working on the game at the moment? How do you finance the game, like Kickstarter or?
How many people are working on the game? I think it's really hard to track because
Mark and I answer this. He said about 30. He wants us
30?
to go with that.
Yeah, 30 is about right. It's weird because we have multiple projects going, and a lot of those people are shared because we use the same technology across some of our projects. So 30 is probably a good rough estimate.
Yeah.
How do we fund the game? Like I said, we have multiple projects, and obviously this game is in early access, and the monetization is active, so that's also been helping fund the game.
Yep.
Also, I sell drugs. That's a good way to stop, right?
That's a good place to stop about how you're peddling drugs to kids, giving the candy to the
Doesn't have
kids.
to be kids.
Yep.
Drugs are for everyone these days. It's not just kids.
All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed this stream with the lead designer, Ian Villamin. You guys can follow him on Twitter.
Not a douchebag.
EMV Tweets. No, he is not a douchebag.
Thanks,
he is,
buddy.
He is an excellent guy.
Thanks, dude.
You guys can also follow me on Twitter at Arctic. Ask us questions about the game if we didn't answer anything in chat. Make sure to hit us up.
Yeah.
We'll get
Speaking
to you
of
guys.
Twitter, real quick, if you could tweet at TyRoots.
Hold on, I'll actually.
Yeah, we'll type it out. But at TyRoots or at TyRoot, fuck you, from Ian. Yeah,
There you go.
I can't think of a better way to close than that.
Yeah, so make sure to follow us on Twitter. Early access on Steam is on the page, on the Twitch page. Follow us on Twitter, Twitch. Like us on Facebook. And we hope to see you guys in game.
Yes,
and
yes.
we'll catch you later.
Yep.
You want to end with yours?
3, 2, 1, load out, fuck Ty.
Later.